and then we're going to talk about some stuff. Now, this guy here, he just got unloaded, right? And he's just getting started in things, right? Chinese guy. Now, his thing is he's got to get washed out. But look at what he's doing with a broom. He's having to go all the way to the edge and beat that thing to death. And beat himself to death. He'd be wore out when he's done, right? Here's the problem. Oh, I got a like and nobody in the room. Google, give me my numbers and quit playing. And I appreciate you. God bless you for the like. So check this out. So I'm stuck here. Man, I'm floor loaded. It's going to take some kind of magical crew and about 4, maybe 6 hours to unload me. Floor loaded, big heavy cases of meat. And we're just get photobombed by this dude. But you see what's going on. All of us are having a problem because Blue Beacons sometimes are closing for holidays, and sometimes there'll be a water problem and they'll be, you know, busted or what, right? And you can't get nothing done, or you're trying to look for a washout. It's all about that freaking washout, because you can't get your next load and make money until you get a washout. So instead of being this guy, I'm gonna tell you some tips on what you can do. There's 3 or 4 ways to do it. And you won't have to go to a washout every single time. Now, so like I said, this guy here, he's gonna be here. He's already been here about 20 minutes with a little bitty broom. It ain't even a shop broom. You know what I mean? And welcome to Chicago. We're in Chicago, people. On the streets, you know, because there ain't much of a dock. But you see, he's going at it with a house broom. You know, don't be that guy. So look, check this out. I'm gonna try to get y'all resituated. And I'm gonna move some things. We're gonna chat about this. I'm gonna give y'all a tip that it might cost you a little bit of money, but it'll save you a whole lot of heartache in the end. All right, for right now, you get the concrete. Till I can get some things worked out. I'm gonna give y'all some tips and we're gonna talk about this. Now, if you have a load that is northeast, and let's use Chicago for example, because I could just break it down for you real quick, right? Well, this guy's fixing to be famous anyhow. We'll go ahead and zoom out a bit. So, we're fixing to make somebody famous. This guy here, we're gonna call him Poncho. Poncho's making me famous. That's Poncho. He's my weatherman. He says everything's good. It's still a little wet. All right, now, okay. So let's say that you're in Chicago, Illinois, and not in that little car. So you're in an 18-wheeler and you need to get a washout. All right. Here's the problem. Your load picks up, say, somewhere like, man, what's a good name? And this guy's fixing to be famous too. He's all right. This is the main man right here. He come out and gave me a hard time earlier. No, he was just telling me where to park, where it wouldn't be in the way. But now I'm in the door. So let's say that your load is to be picked up just a little bit west of Chicago. You got 2 choices on Blue Beacons, and it's in the middle of the night. You need a washout, right? Because you're rolling at night trying to make these loads delivered. All right. There's a couple of different washouts around Chicago, but then you're gonna have to use a comm check and all that. If your company's got to set up, or who you lease to or whatever's got to set up a Blue Beacon, that's why it's so handy to use Blue Beacon. It's just handy. They're not the greatest. They're pretty quick if you can get in and out, but everybody knows if you got middle Chicago, you can either go west like another 45 minutes out and 45 minutes back, okay, to, if I'm not mistaken, that one would be Rochelle, Illinois, and there's a Blue Beacon out there. You could look at all this on Trucker Path. I just got it in my head. And then you could go south and east a little bit, and you could go down to the Blue Beacon that is in Monee, M-O-N-E-E. There's a T-A down there, and they're not usually too
okay? But it's all if they're washing out the bay or this, and plus the miles and fuel, and fuel's high. So if you're trying to save fuel and all this, it's simple. Get a leaf blower. Listen to me, people. I have seen so many, and I'm the last one to get one, because don't feel like you got. I'm just getting mine. Here's why. For years I didn't run reefer, and I wasn't worried about it. I didn't have a reefer unit, didn't have nothing to wash out, wasn't worried about it. And I thought, ooh, it'd be dusty in this. No. If you just washed out a trailer, just got it washed out, and especially if you drop it somewhere and you don't know how good somebody else got one washed out before they dropped it in there, or if they did at all, you're looking at having to go, and even though you take a dry load with pallets or what, there's no blood on the floor, nothing leaking, nothing like that. But all these freaking wood chips, man, they leave them in your truck and they don't want them on their dock, and they don't want to clean out your trailer. They don't do that. That's on the driver, always. 100%. Nobody sweeps out trailers but drivers. So a lot of companies make you have a push broom on the back. Now, that is the other option, okay? I ain't saying nothing, Swift. Y'all can do what y'all want to do. But for the guys that's listening to me and hearing what I'm saying, I've seen it all, and I'm like, this is the solution to the problem. Now, one guy, I had a need for a washout, and it wasn't that bad. It was just the wood chips, and this guy had a leaf blower, and he let me borrow his. Now, his was gas powered. I'm gonna say don't get a gas powered one, because the guy next to me that was just blowing his out told me, he's like, yeah, I thought about that, but some of these places, they complain about the fumes and the smell inside the trailer, and they might not load you. I'm like, okay. You know, that's why I was looking around at what he had, and that's why I asked him. I thought it was electric, I couldn't tell. It's a Ryobi, and his is the 18 volt. Now, there's a 200 CFM minute one, and his had this thing on the back of it that looked like a beehive intake. So that one, it's got a variable speed, they all do, but that one has a beehive back into it, and it moves water. So if you put a couple of gallons of water in the back of your trailer with some Dawn dishwashing liquid, a few drops of that, and just, you know, shake it up and dump that in it, park on a hill, or just drive down the road like that, and then park on a hill with your plugs out and hit it with the leaf blower blows the water out too. He showed me in the parking lot, he took a puddle and moved it, like this big huge water puddle. I'm like, okay, there's something to this. I'm a little slow, I'm picking up on things, and I've been putting them together, and I'm cheap, so I didn't want to get, but now I'm like, I'm about it, because it's going to save me about 2 hours drive time, plus about an hour and a half sitting in the freaking Blue Beacon line. This guy's gonna be famous, okay? Sitting in the line at the Blue Beacon time, and that's more money rolling, more money in your pocket. So it took him a grand total of 5 minutes. 5 minutes, I timed it. He walked in there, I was like, I wonder what kind of blower that is. And now the guy down there has been there 45 minutes, sweeping his out with a little house broom. If you have a push broom, industrial broom, you can do it in about 15. But everybody knows that kicks up dust in a way that's all over your shoes, and it's stupid. It's not moving forward, it's moving up. When you sweep, you don't sweep just forward, you sweep up. A blower ain't having that. A blower's getting it out of your way. Now, I would say it's still gonna be in the air. Wear some safety glasses that have a seal around them. You can get them from a motorcycle shop. And you're gonna wanna wear some kind of a dust mask. Everybody's got these, you know, N95 COVID masks anyways, and then there you go. So, you know, what more do you want in life? I'm giving you the answer. That's the solution. So, and this guy's gonna be famous. So anyway, so that's what I got for you today. Little pro tip. There's a whole lot more going on in the world. I haven't had time to be too much up on it. Sounds like which, and by the way, pick your own maker of your electric drill gun, electric blower, because it might also, the batteries might fit your drill gun. You can stay with the same family of tools. I'm sure they're all just as good, as long as they're pushing anywhere from 200 CFM per minute, you know, cubic feet per minute, to to, I think they got up to 500. Past that, I think you have to hire a hurricane. I don't really know. Look into it. I'm doing my due diligence, and I'm letting y'all know I'm not borrowing nobody else's blower. I need one because I have had this happen several times in the past month, that the blue beacon be closed and there's nothing I can do about it. So the plan is I'll get one that fits my family of tools. Y'all can get one that fits your family of tools. That way the batteries and the chargers and all that jive. Or you could, if you haven't got into tools, you could get one like, you might like a Black & Decker one. You know, you might like something else that when you buy the battery, you got an extra battery, extra charger for your other tool. So if you're not using the blower all the time, you might have a drill gun, okay, and get you like a pack out case. Milwaukee pack out's awesome, and you can put it in your I mean, strap it to your passenger seat, do your thing, you know what I mean, people? So hi from Florida. What's up? So let's see here, my old eyes. Okay, welcome Florida. You're welcome to Chicago. So so I'm saying pick whatever kind of style or flavor or color that you like. I'm sure they're all the same, as long as they push in at least 250 cubic feet a minute. That's good enough. That's what he had. And it had this handle that was open top handle, looked like it could hook onto something, and it was lightweight. It was only like 6 pounds or something. Gas powered ones weigh more. You don't want to mess with mixing gas. And by the way, the trick to that, if you do have one already, you can buy pre-mixed gas from now all the gas stations and Ace Hardware, okay, probably Walmart too. They've got 40-to-1 mix and 50-to-1 mix. 50-to-1 runs better in a steel chainsaw. They all recommend that. For the other chainsaws, what's that other one? I hope this guy don't hit this trailer next to him. I think he's fixed to. He's trying not to hit me. Poland chainsaws actually ask for 40-to-1, which is more oil, but I'm saying it's pre-mixed. It's perfect. It's so perfect, it's not even funny. So they come in a little can, and then you don't have to buy gas in a little thing. You can have this metal can. It's got the pre-mix already done, and then, you know, it's a done deal. But I wouldn't say, I don't want to run none of that in my truck. You know, I'm going with full electric, and that's going to be the end of that. I've got, just so you know what I have, I've got a Makita that I need to get a battery and a charger for, but it's got a battery in it. I need some Black & Decker stuff, but I've got some other ones. I've got, man, I don't know if I'm going to get all into Makita or not. And I definitely don't want to pay for that high price battery one that fits everything, including a freaking lawnmower. I don't know what's going to happen with that. I'm looking at my tools sideways though, going, y'all ain't been cleaning my trailer out. All y'all do is put screws in wood and cut wood, and so that's not enough for me. So I'm gonna figure it out, and I'll figure out what family of stuff I'm gonna buy into, or if I'm gonna go to Black & Decker for an 18 volt, if they have an 18 volt that's similar to mine. I don't know. I do know that proprietary 18 volts, basically, Milwaukee bought a patent to use 18 volt power for everything. That's why they're stuck on 18 volt when everybody else is going to 22. And so every time somebody makes an 18 volt something, they have to pay royalties to Milwaukee, okay, for the 18 volt. That's my understanding of it, okay. And so that's why they're on 18 when other places go to 22, thinking that they can actually give you a little more power, but then also get out from under paying them royalties. Okay, that's what that's all about, if you don't know. So get you a blower. We'll get off that subject, and I just want to go further here. So it seems that it's so bad right now in Russia that even one of their man, what do you even call them people? I done lost my train, but not my train of thought, but the name of that person, a representative that works in embassies. I'm trying to think. An ambassador. There you go. An ambassador in Russia quit his job and did a scathing report on it was all about the war in Ukraine. He was embarrassed to even for his country and to be a Russian, or it was really bad. Dude quit. So he didn't just quiet quit. He quit, and it was crazy. So who knows what's going to happen to him? He'll be in a gulag somewhere. In the meantime, that's how bad it is. It looks like they did finally take over that place. Well, they took over Mariupol. They'll lose that later. It'll be taken back. And then they lost that city that had a steel plant in it. And pardon me for not knowing the name. But anyhow, they lost that place, and then those guys surrendered and were taken to, be processed in Russia, and then actually to be part of a prisoner swap. But the thing is, who knows what's going to happen? They could kill half of them. I don't think that Russia's honest. They've never been honest. They tell you they're going to give you a civilian corridor, and then they shut it down. There's a lot of that they do. So I wouldn't expect them to be back no more than I would expect the ones that were missing from the Chernobyl site that took care of it to come back. Just fingers crossed. Whatever. You can't do nothing about it. Russia's Russia. So in the end, and they tried one guy for war crimes already. He admitted to all of it. He called it fully guilty. But he didn't want to be there in the first place, but he did bad stuff. And so you can't do that. But they don't even know the rules of warfare. They just got in the Army. They don't understand that there was a Geneva Convention. They don't know any of the rules. So they're breaking them. And then they're, raping, pillaging, stealing, everything that Jesus said don't do. He said be content with your wages. Evidently, they didn't go to church either, because that's in the Bible. So that's simple enough. That meant don't steal, don't rape, don't plunder. Do your job as a soldier, defend your country or whatever, and then, deal with problems as they arise. But he had to take orders until they're a bad order. Then you can refuse orders. It's called a sir, no sir. Well, better to be tried, in a military tribunal, and when they court-martial you, than to deal with the Hague that says that you did this, and this, and that they're going to take care of you. So I think he got a bunch of years in prison is what they gave him. I'm not sure. It's a bad situation. He's a good kid if you look at what he was trying to be, but then they put him into the military and changed him up. O negative, wasted. I looked at it, I saw it, I sensed it. It's like that's messed up. So he could have been something great. They wiped his life away, put him in, conscripted into the Russian army. So, and Russia is opening up gulag systems. They got all these internment camps, I guess you call them, for people they want to steal from Ukraine. They're stealing people from Ukraine, and they're trying to find out who's got family that's in the military, and they're using them as hostages, basically. Not just for prisoner swaps, but for whatever they want. And I can't wait till they blow that bridge to Crimea. They should have blown it when the tanks were first coming across it. I said that a long time back. They now are starting to talk about it. They say it's the most heavily guarded one. That means nothing. So at some point, Ukraine will get an air force. At some point, this will get wiped out. Russia's, Putin's time's limited. Lots of things are limited. And they say that their economy is going so bad that there's military people that are saying that they're defecting and leaving and saying, I started to see what was going on back home and everything going real bad with the economy. Yeah, it's real bad. They haven't seen nothing yet. There'll be 100 people in line for a radish. So, which we're dealing with a crisis ourselves because of the wheat. It's not a real bad one. It's just looming. Our prices of gas are artificially inflated by the government, who wants us all to get so mad at gas that we buy electric vehicles, and that's not happening. I'll keep keep my tank. Thank you. And then this guy was moving over here, got me a little distracted. We're coming out of the winter. We got a little bit of time. Somebody put a Chihas to the attack on our stuff, but they will continue to try. That's what they do. That's what they're good at. They would love to shut down our pipeline again, same way as they did before. And so, in the end, we currently have gas, but it's very expensive. And so, if you haven't noticed, it will go up to 8 a gallon eventually once there's an issue that really messes with things. But they're talking about moving oil just with tanker trucks, and they're saying there's not enough drivers to even do that. There is enough drivers to do that if you retrain them and offer them good money. We're going to see how the pipeline on wheels, which is what we've always called tanking, I used to do it, we're going to see just how well that will do. But they're saying about the diesel, getting it from point A to point B. Well, you know, they need a pipeline. I'm just saying, they've shut them all down, shut down new contracts for them. You know, there was supposed to be another one in Alaska, I guess. That's what they're doing. They're trying to ruin the oil industry, even though right now oil is showing record profits. All the oil companies are making record profits, and some states are even talking about that they need to back tax them or something and send that money back to the people. It ain't gonna get to the people that spent the money on the gas. You know, Joe Public that went to the gas station and bought gas, he ain't gonna see his money back. Maybe a few of them will. No, it'll go to the ones that are aligned with the Democratic Party. They'll be told about it first, and it'll be a big secret until you see them going to certain places and, you know, filling out apps and getting what they need or want. Not like they need it. It's like a rich person going to a soup kitchen. Seriously? So, we're going to see how all that pans out with the fuel. And, man, they got all these shootings going on and stuff. I ain't even kept up. I can't even watch that kind of stuff. That's like, to me, that affects me a little bit. I can't even watch that junk. So somebody else that keeps up with that can tell you more about that, but if it was somebody that was on the loose, I'll follow it if I can help some. But that kind of stuff, it's really bad, and you can't point to one thing or another. They've said, I think it was it, I'm not sure if that guy's name is Jordan Peterson. There's a guy that's fairly intelligent, gets up and talks, tells people, hey, look, that's not common sense, it should be like this, whatever. I think that's that guy's name. But anyway, he was saying that out of the population of people, you're always going to wind up with something like 3% that are insane, that are crazy, that are mentally malfunctioned and do stupid stuff. There's that. So them trying to talk about taking guns away from people, they're always trying to do that. They want to disarm the populace so they can take us over. It's a rare event, and that person would take a hammer and do the same thing, or a pencil, or a, you know, crazy is going to be crazy. You can't stop it by taking away its implements, its tools. It will find more tools. You don't see monkeys with drill guns getting ants out of logs. However, they have figured out how to take a stick and poke it in the hole in the log and get ants out to eat them. They showed that. So a tool is a tool, and it's kind of hard for them to say they should take guns off the market when they sent them down to Mexico, Fast and Furious style. That was retarded, by the way. Hey, let's see where they go. Where'd you think they were going to go? So, hey, whatever. Somebody's genius plan. You know, it's like giving the Taliban a bunch of weapons. You got a whole country of people over there. Whole country over there. You just armed. And you're talking about taking arms away from peaceful people here? Those people throw people off buildings, hang them from bridges, take them out. Look, before you want to take someone's gun, go to the Taliban and get all of our military weapons back. We left them helicopters. It is now Talibanistan. I said that was going to happen. Talibanistan. It is now Talibanistan. So they're even kicking out the government that just got voted in with a military guy that's there's a whole fight over there in Afghanistan. It's crazy. And this is what I'm trying to figure out. Maybe someone smarter than me or who's in the know can tell me more about this particular situation. I know they're trying to mess with the gas. I know they're trying to whatever. Russia's acting like, well, we don't care about money. It's not about money anyways. Money's fake anyhow. It's made up. So, well, they're like, we'll shut off all the oil to everybody if we have to. They've got a whole list of EU countries that they're sanctioning. Well, you don't hear about that much, but it's really odd, and they've put it up on Twitter. 2 different cases I saw. One was Saudi Arabia. I believe it was Saudi Arabia. Hiring people so they can get enough people together for a big job coming up where they're going to shut down their pipeline. Now, do they do this for maintenance, or is this what it seems, which is the simple side of things, is they're just going to shut off all their oil and it takes a bunch of people to do it? So there was 2 other countries doing this. Ukraine shut off their oil too, that was going through because they lost control of one station, and Russia shut off oil to the 2 countries that just joined NATO, which I always say European Union. It's interchangeable at this point. So what's with the shutting down of whole countries' pipelines, right? Are they actually talking about shutting down for good? To create a great reset and, you know, one world government kind of mess or whatever? I mean, what? Like, it seems odd. It seems odd. In peak oil season to shut down anything, you don't talk shutdown. You talk, hey, can you pump more out? Can you pump more out of the ground? So, if that's as accurate as it sounds, and they're hiring people to shut down their pipelines, look for Saudi Arabia to shut down their pipelines. Okay? And blame it on maintenance or blame it on whatever they want to, but whenever there's no oil, it's going to be something. So if we're going to have a hard time getting diesel fuel, there has to be a workaround. I got a solution for cleaning your trailer out. I'll work on the solution for diesel. I'm thinking that it's going to be this. I'm thinking that we're going to have to start strapping a 3rd tank between the frame behind our cab. One of them moonshine looking tanks, right? Moonshine runner tanks or whatever. And carry spare fuel. Now, if you look at the truck in front of me, he's got 1 tank and then he's got a box. There's no room between that tank and the front drive to put another tank, okay? But there is if he hauled lighter weight freight in front of the deaf one. Hang on a second here.
Hey, my friend, you
Yeah.
the reefer, put it off, please. The reefer.
Turn it off, hit the button. You can hit it, hit the button, just touch the button. Yeah, the button. Just push the button. On the side. Oh, wait. Hang on. I think I have to teach this guy. Hold tight, people. Be back with you. Gracias por todos. Yep. So, okay. Now he knows how to turn off the reefer. How about that? I'm teaching all the time, people. So, all right. Whew. Yeah, about 4 more hours. See, this is floor load. This is like they own you when you get. This is where DOT hours go to die. But no, you shut down. You're there. You got this guy. Hey, no lie. No lie. No lie. We got to do this. People. This guy. Brand new in the box. Leaf blower. This guy. No lie. You know what I'm saying? No lie. He just pulled a leaf brand new in the box. We're all learning this because we're trying to beat the washout and trying to beat the fuel. I ain't lying to you. He just took that out. So y'all saw it. That's what I'm talking about. That's what we're all trying to do. And we're all coming to the same conclusion. That guy just bought one, right? That's the craziest thing. I'm sitting here talking about leaf blowers. And then some dude comes up. There you go. You know what I mean, people? So, but back to the tanks. Okay, you can't get a tank behind because he's already got one there. You can get one in front though. If you look at right, there's his tank, but right here is the def tank, but it's only that far. If you got rid of these steps just for a minute, moved them out of the way, you could put tanks on each side here, but it puts us over on our weight, especially over on our steer tires. That's the problem, is we're already at 11,000 where they put these freaking engines and how they make the, so that we have a tighter turning radius and like 226-inch wheelbase or something like that. But, and diesel fuel weighs 5 pounds a gallon. So before you start doing this, what I'm talking about, okay, I'm sorry, 8. Is it 8? 5 to 8. 5 to 8 pounds a gallon. Let me get this right. I want to say 8. Ah, man, see, I forget more than I know. Anyhow, so if you're wanting to put a tank on the back of your frame rail, just to have a little extra fuel for whatever, they do have diesel ones that they run generators off of, all this other stuff. And so, and this guy's gonna be famous. All right. And so you can do that. You're probably going to get, if you look at the tank on his reefer, that tank right there is about, you could call it a 30-gallon tank. You can get as much as 50s. That's what you would need. There's going to be people without reefer units on the front of their trailers, putting them under the trailers at some point. And the guy next to me might have run out of fuel. We're running that tight, people. No lie. I mean, I've been running that tight. I've been running low just because it's been, I've been running heavy, you know, and it keeps me lighter, but I've been running hard. When I say heavy, I really mean I've been running a lot of miles. So this guy, like I said, he's got the tank there. You would need a tank like that back behind your truck. And that one's kind of big. So it'd be a smaller one and a longer one. And they have them. They have the square ones at like Harbor Freight that you could get, but you got to make sure your trailer swing is not going to hit it, because if you look at the reefer unit, how it comes around when it turns, it might, the trailer itself might hit it. Even spare tires, you got to be careful. That's why I did that video on that rack, and that rack was tight, barely enough room. It's all about where your fifth wheel's sitting. So if the trailer's too far forward when you turn, that one's pretty tight in itself, but he's got some room. But if it's too far forward, when you turn, the corner of that trailer is going to cut into whatever you put back there. That's why it's like, you know, everybody's trying to figure out how to have toolboxes and all. His step right there is a toolbox. That step behind the fuel tank is a toolbox. So if you don't know about trucks, you're learning a lot right now. We got to have tools. I mean, there's no getting around it. You have an airline bust, you're in the middle of nowhere, you need to change it yourself instead of paying a service guy or having somebody. You ain't got time for all that. Nobody's got time for that. Nobody's got time for the washout. Nobody's got time for fueling. And we're all just now finding solutions to these problems because we're the supply line. We're like, we're gonna keep this thing rolling. We don't care. Throw a wrench in the works, throw a freaking hurdle in our way, you know, close the roads, we'll take a different road. You know, close the freaking washouts, we'll buy blowers. we don't care. We're gonna keep this thing moving. So if you're with me, you know what I'm saying, you get it. Let's keep this thing moving. The people gotta eat, you know. So other than that, dude with the new leaf blower is back there doing his thing. And then we're all going to be doing our thing. So I'm looking at Home Depot or Lowe's, and they have them in stock. And 18 volt works for me, and I'm gonna figure out which maker is the right one to get me some other tools that I might need or to use on mine already. Like I said, I got the older, like I got some 12 volt, and I got some, most of mine are, or no, 18. Yeah, the drills are 18. I got something that's a 7.5 that I just really like because it's lightweight and it's for use for like taking apart insides of cars and stuff, you know. Something that's not too much power, so it won't overstrip your screws and break your plastics. So there's that. I do have an Impact too, and that's the Harbor Freight one. I didn't want to jump into one family of products. I like the ones that work, but they make it a deal if you get this and this and this. And at this point, I need a radial arm saw, a skill saw, and I need to work those off of battery power. And if that means the same system I already got with drill guns, Black & Decker, that would be great. But I know other places have more power and stuff. So I don't know if they offer a good radial arm saw, and it'd be nice to have one that goes down and moves out, and, you know, more like us, because I don't have a table saw. I'm trying to do too much with too little, people. We all are. So welcome to 2022. Get a blower. Anybody got anything to say? That's all I got. Just a little trick, because we're all having the same problem, obviously. Dude over here on my right, what did he do? He just bought in the box. It was in the box. You know he's not keeping that box. You know he bought that today. Like, I could go in there and talk to him, but I ain't doing all that. But I could, and say, hey man, let's check that out. Seriously, I put you on the Ryobi one. I think that one might be a Ryobi. I'm not sure. But this is the new, this is welcome to 2022. Ain't nobody got time to go into the washout and sit there for 2 hours. We're all finding solutions. Nobody's got time, if they close, to wait till the next day to go get a washout just so you can go get your freaking load that's already preloaded and ready to go. And we're trying to turn and burn. So that is the solution to the answer to the problem. There's no other answer. I'll be at Home Depot. I'll be somewhere. Something's got to give. And I know that this one's floor loaded. It's going to take forever. But even if they don't leave the plastic things, there'll be something back there. I think this one I'll get washed out. I think my next one, we'll see. Because like I said, if it's got blood on the floor and all, it's got to be washed out. If there's a smell inside of it, it's got to be washed out. I'll tell you the trick to that, in case you don't know, is run the reefer unit after your washout. It helps. When I say helps, it solves the problem. It'll make it so it dries it out. It'll make it so there's no mildew and mold and stuff that builds up. So the trick is, run the unit, but don't run it to freezing. You don't want to freeze the water, you want to dry it out. Refrigeration alone makes water, it's going to be on the floor and down the drains. So you pull out your plugs, let it drain. And if anybody knows where they get those freaking foam plugs, that's my next problem, that I got to solve, is for hauling bananas or for getting below 10 or for whatever you could do that requires having those plugs in the trailer, in the 4 holes, the drain holes. Not just shoving a shirt in there, because you could do that, but I'm saying I gotta find a truck stop that sells those foam already cut plugs. You can get the foam at Home Depot. The guy with the blower told me that. We were talking about the foam plugs too. It's everything that we need that you can't find everywhere. You can't find it anywhere. So truckers need foam plugs for the reefer units, and we need blowers. I do not recommend getting the gas powered one. Other than that, I'm gonna get off this thing here, people. we live in crazy times and we're all trying to come up with solutions. I highly recommend too that you put potatoes in the ground, because when produce has an issue, it's gonna be worse than baby formula. I can guarantee you that. This is how things work, okay? And we're trying to get it to you in these trucks, but if we can't put it on the truck and get it, and if they quit manufacturing, or if there's an E. coli breakout, or if there's some kind of reason they shut down a bunch of produce or meat or whatever, there's nothing that I can do about that. Nothing. We would love to haul it. It's our job. We do our job. But if we can't get it on the truck because it don't exist, people will go hungry. So I am the supply line. We all are. Every trucker out here is taking care of this, okay? We got this. But there's some hiccups, and we're all finding solutions and sharing them. And these guys had a round table the other day. This guy, they had this kind of a live, and a bunch of them were talking about the computer problems with these trucks, where one guy like resoldered his and it started working again, kind of like the problems with the Jeep Cherokees. Jeep Cherokees, the vibration makes their computer loose. You can resolder them or have them resoldered, and then your computer's good again and it runs. Well, they're having problems with the trucks not running. I'm not having that problem. I'm in a 2020, 2022 Freightliner. I'm not saying I won't have the problem. I'm saying that I think they fixed all the freaking problems when you get to 2022. So if you have a choice of buying a 2021 or 2022, just go for it. Just do the 2022. You will be amazed at the difference, and the freaking windshields don't leak for once. For God's sake, Freightliner, learn how to freaking seal up the old windshields. I don't understand why. It seems like even when they replace windshields, they leak. It's stupid. You can't put your paperwork on the dash. Okay, you can't. If they get wet, it's stupid, right? You got to use plastic protecting holders and hope they don't get steamed up. Yeah, so we're dealing with a lot. We're coming up with all these solutions, but those guys were talking about mechanical stuff, and I just wanted to clap. I just wanted to freaking say hooray for that. It's the first YouTube roundtable I've seen, anything like that, where they're talking about real stuff that affects truckers and finding solutions to mechanical problems and telling them where to get mechanics at. I'm like, I was impressed. I was almost like, my job is done. I could just get off this thing and not even worry about nothing. My little tips and tricks that I put up in the 2 videos of fix-it vids and trucking tips is nothing compared to what they were talking about. So I'll find that video if it's still up, and I'll put a link up to it on this one, and you'll be like, okay, that's real talk. Real talk is when, hey, this is going to break on your truck, this is how you get it fixed, this is what you do. That's real talk. They may not have all the right answers, but they're talking about it and they're working on the problem. I was impressed, highly impressed. G-E-E-N-U-T, G-Nut, that guy, and a bunch of other people. It was from his channel, and I saw him through Miss Pearl doing a live and him being on there, and it was a round table thing, and I'm listening. So I'm listening, I just check in, hey, what's up? I'm listening. YouTube's getting better for truckers. It's not all drama and this and that. One dude's talking about housing stuff, another dude's talking about, income and the whole thing. A bunch of companies fixing to go out of business because of fuel prices being high. I'm locked in. I'm not sweating it. I get a discount. It's all good. I just got to run. So keep running, people. If you find the solution to the foam little plugs for trailers, put a link up. You know what I'm saying? You find them on the internet, something that it's really stupid. It's reefer unit drain plugs. That's it. They might be black, they might be white foam. They help us when we go to pick up a load of bananas and it's required, or if we go to a shipper and they're talking, hey, can you get down to -10 and you rocking on -6? You know what I'm talking about, people. Let's be real. Okay? Now, it's not as bad as Winn-Dixie days a long time ago, where I'd go somewhere and they'd be like, oh, you're not going to get that reefer unit down to that. Just get in the door. The ice cream will bring it down. And then you make a 50-yard dash trying to get it delivered before it gets any kind of low, higher temperature. It might melt. or if the reefer unit craps out because they were crappy units. We're doing better than that. We're not in them old days, but you still need the plugs. The plugs is the trick. If you got -10, you need plugs. That's your answer. In case you didn't know it, you're welcome. Okay? Nobody told you this. You learn it here on Trucking Stuff. So I'm gonna get off this thing. God bless you people. Do your thing. I'm out. Peace.